Let's go, it's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show.
So Yakuza 3 is the sequel to Yakuza 1 and 2, and basically, just so you guys know, if you haven't played Yakuza 1 and 2, do not worry, Yakuza 3 provides a cinematic kind of movie for both of them, so you kind of get the idea and gist of what happened in 1 and 2, though I strongly suggest, if you can, to pick up those games because they are both great. Now we're on to Yakuza 3. And the story is actually, from what I understand from the fans and reading about it, is the story is actually a different writer than the first two, and it kind of feels more like politics here and there, and definitely gives a more, I don't know, not mature, but kind of just a different view of just, instead of just the street level, thug level fighting that Yakuza kind of provided in the first two. So it's kind of cool to get the politic kind of thing going on, and it can get a little boring at times, but it's still actually well done compared to other games. Zuma is back, and he's basically like the nicest Yakuza ever, so you will like him. He is, he takes care of the orphanage, and it's definitely a story-driven game. So if you're not into those, look elsewhere. This game will do really a great job at building up these characters and feeling for them. I do feel that the story kind of dragged on in the beginning, and kind of it's like a stop at chapter 10, and you're like, what the hell is this? Why are we back here? And you'll know what I mean. But then it picks up in the final two chapters, and definitely all the slow chapters pay off because you feel for these characters, and that's where Yakuza does really well. So if you're looking for a story-driven character development type of game with really well-done characters, you're going to love Yakuza. If you're looking for an action-packed Super Saiyan brawl and just no story and retardation like most of Capcom's games, you won't get that here. Not that I hate on Capcom, but come on. Graphics are a mixed bag for me. What is really good, the cinemas, some of these character models are like the best thing in gaming. And some of the environments are beautiful, some of the, attacks look very stylish and very well done. And then you got some character models that are just butt-ass ugly, and you're wondering, like, is this actually a PS3 game? It's very divided in my opinion. It's not that they're bad, they're just kind of like, why do they look so ugly and everything else looks so good? That's basically it. But the graphics for the most part are good, and the cinemas are amazing looking. Similar to the first two Yakuzas, it's very much about beating the shit out of your opponent. You will literally beat the living shit out of your opponent. You will do some of the most disturbing yet awesome finishers ever in a video game. This is what you do in this game. You walk around this city or hub world, or if you want to call it like a sandbox world, you talk to people, you can do side quests, there's all the good stuff. But the main gameplay is when you go into battle and beat the living shit out of another person. It does it so well. It's just a lot of fun. Now there's enough depth to make it that you're not just clicking square, square, square over again. You will have to block, you will have to dodge, you will have to mix and match your different attacks. And it's not boring. It really never gets boring because you're beating the shit out of people in such brutal ways that you want to keep doing it. No matter how many street thugs run up to you and say, give me your money, you will beat the shit out of them. And it feels good every time you do it. And that's what Yakuza does really well. The combat is a lot of fun. It really, it helps because you get experience from killing or beating the shit out of these bad guys. And then you can upgrade your moves, your health, and get new techniques and so on. So it's definitely a cool feature to have the RPG, which was in Yakuza 1 of course, but it's actually a lot better in this game, and the combat just feels a lot better improved, I guess you could say. Now what is bad about the gameplay is that it really feels like some of the movements for the characters can definitely feel a little better. Well, not characters, but just the main character, Kazuma, and it just kind of feels like this weird movement, like he doesn't move fast enough, or he can't block fast enough, or it just feels a little awkward and stiff at times. That's really my only negative thing about the combat. Another thing is I wasn't a huge fan of the chase scenes. I thought they were very and they really served no purpose. If it was more epic and there was more stuff going on, maybe in this fourth Yakuza that'll change, but the chase scenes just felt like they were added in there for absolutely no reason. What else is good though is that you can buy weapons and everything, and that's really cool and definitely adds to you know, using all these different weapons to beat the shit out of your opponent, seeing new finishers, and of course you could mod and upgrade your weapons and armor. So that's really cool and definitely brings, you know, more to the game than the you know, Yakuza 1 and 2. So that's something I actually like that they added. But the, you know, the stiff movement sometimes, and you know, the whole chase scenes, and there's a little too much talking and walking around at times can just hurt the game. But once you get into a brawl, you forget all about that and you just beat the shit out of your opponent, because that's what Yakuza is about. So overall, anybody who's looking for a game that basically labels itself as let's beat the living shit out of everybody, this is your game. If you're looking for a more, I don't know, sandbox type of world like Grand Theft Auto or something where you can just shoot everybody, no. This game is structured that you only beat the shit out of bad guys because you're a good guy despite you being a Yakuza, and you beat the shit out of bad guys. It's simple math, but it works and it's still a lot of fun. The brawling is not for everybody. Some may get repetitive and be like, oh, I don't like it. Well, fuck you. Anybody who likes beating the shit out of people, I strongly suggest trying this game out. You're gonna love it. It's very story driven though, so expect cutscenes that are 5 to 10 minutes long here and there, and just enjoy it. The character development's very well done, the story's very well done, and the combat's a blast. And besides the little minor things I talked about, it's actually well worth the money to buy it, and it's a pretty long game, anywhere from 15 to 25 hours at least. I mean, if you run through the game, I would say 15. If you take your time, 25 if you want to collect everything. You can have way past 50 hours.